Since 1975, WWF New Zealand has stood for a simple, powerful idea that people and nature must thrive together. Our story began as the world was waking up to the damage being done to our planet. Here in Aotearoa, communities were mobilising to save Lake Manapuri and stop the logging of our native forests. An idea that individuals could make a difference grew into a mass movement, and from the very beginning, people have been at the centre of our work. Thanks to the generosity of our supporters, over the years we've achieved some remarkable things for nature. In 1982, WWF New Zealand provided the seed funding for one of New Zealand's great conservation success stories, Tiritirimatangi Island. What was once a working farm became a predator-free sanctuary and is now considered the gold standard for restoring islands so native wildlife can thrive. Today, kokako, tiake, tuatara, and many other taonga species call Tiritiri home, and it shows us what's possible when communities lead and nature is given a chance to recover. In 1988, WWF New Zealand purchased a stretch of Dunedin coastline to protect crucial habitat for hoiho, the yellow-eyed penguin. More than 3 decades later, we continue to fight to ensure this cherished species survives and thrives far beyond just an image on our $5 note. In 1999, we began working alongside the Tyndall Foundation to fund local conservation groups up and down the motu. From rehabilitating korora and restoring native streams, to educating young Kiwi and building a lifelong love of nature. We've worked together for over 25 years and invested more than $8 million into hundreds of flax roots, community-led conservation projects nationwide. In 2016, WWF New Zealand contributed to the $1 Million Mouse Operation, a bold effort to remove invasive predators from the remote Antipodes Islands. The result was an entire subantarctic island group declared predator-free and a new future for seabirds and other native wildlife. And after more than a decade of advocating for transparency out at sea, onboard cameras were finally introduced on parts of New Zealand's commercial fishing fleet in 2024. The footage confirmed long-held concerns that accidental captures of threatened wildlife were much higher than reported. As a result, the following years of pressure from WWF New Zealand and others, stronger protections to prevent seabird bycatch were finally introduced. Behind these wins in Aotearoa is an even bigger global movement. Over the past 50 years, WWF has helped to drive some of the world's most significant environmental breakthroughs. We helped secure the global moratorium on commercial whaling, giving many of these majestic creatures a chance to bounce back. We helped shape the Kyoto Protocol and later the Paris Agreement, bringing the world together to limit climate change. And more recently, WWF was instrumental in securing the Global Biodiversity Framework, a once-in-a-generation agreement to nearly every country on Earth to halt and reverse nature loss. And yet, despite all these gains, the challenges we face today are unprecedented. Aotearoa New Zealand has one of the highest proportions of threatened species in the world, with more than 4,000 species at risk of extinction. Climate-related weather disasters are becoming more frequent and more severe, with devastating consequences for communities and our economy. And across the Pacific, island nations are on the front line of climate change and fighting for their very survival. Our nature is globally unique, and many of Aotearoa's species exist nowhere else on Earth. If we lose them here, we lose them forever. Over the last 50 years, we've seen what's possible when people come together to stand up for nature. Thanks to our supporters, we've been able to protect iconic species, restore habitats, and give nature a fighting chance. Now more than ever, civil society has a critical role to play. With your support, we're determined to build a future where people and nature live in harmony, ensuring nature forever for everyone.